Hello again and welcome. This is just going to be a quick video. Sorry I'm not using the stand. What I'd like to demonstrate in this video is how their application slows down the longer that you record data. I'm running a long-term test on Brymen's request to try to replicate the 10x fault that Dave Jones had seen on EEVBLOG. But I'm using the latest firmware and application from Brymen to see if this has had any effect on it. So this meter on the right, this is the modified BM78xBT. This is communicating with the phone on the right. This has been running about 12 or so hours now. The phone on the left, which is communicating with the 788BT, both of these are in the same mode. They're measuring the same 1K ohm resistor. But look at the difference in the speed. So again, I just started this application on the left, and this one's been running about 12 hours. Now as I continue to run this for longer periods, this continues to slow down. So instead of the 5 Hertz update rate, which we're expecting when we're in the resistance mode, this is going to get very, very slow. I ran this system for about 4.5 days maybe. I was expecting, I think it was like 1.7 million data points or something. I ended up with about 250,000. That's how much data was lost because whatever's happening here, it can't keep up. Now when I'm running these meters with the PC using my own LabVIEW application, there's no problem with it keeping up. So I think whatever's going on with this, it's due to their application on the cell phone. One thing too I was going to show you for these longer term runs, I've cobbled up this battery pack to give me a longer run time. So that's just replacing the original here. I know Brymen is working on this particular problem. Hopefully they get it resolved soon. We're now at 2.5 days of operation. Alright, let's compare the two. And I'll try it again tomorrow, but you can definitely see that the phone that we just started logging with is much, much faster than the one that's been logging for 2.5 days now. Alright, this is 3.5 days now. Let's start their application. And you can see the phone connects to the meter rather quickly. It's nice that they've got this fixed, because otherwise there's no way I could ever run this test. Again, this is about 3.5 days of operation so far. This is not due to the meter update rate. Again, if I run this with my software that's running on a PC, it can keep up with this just fine. So this has to do with the cell phone application. So I came in my office and the phone was asking me if I wanted to save the data. So basically what's happened is the phone disconnected from the meter for whatever reason. Now again, we've got these super AA power pack on this meter. The last time I ran a long experiment like this, I think it ran about 4.5 days, and that was using the standard AAA pack. So I was expecting it to run at least 8 days with this arrangement. So here's what I think is happening is the meter slows down as it collects more and more data. I'm guessing they have some kind of a timeout in this thing in the phone application, and as it slows down, basically it times out, and that causes the disconnect. I mean, it has nothing to do with the battery being low. You turn this thing on and this thing will fire right up, and I can believe with these AA's in here, this thing is going to run for at least another 4 days before the batteries actually get low enough for it to drop a connection. So I think something else is going on with this. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and set this thing up and start the data collection again. Again, what I'm trying to do is see if all this new firmware will replicate what Dave saw with that 10x fault. And I can tell you after 4 days basically of operation, I went ahead and looked at that data and I did not see any kind of a problem with it. So it's very possible that these new updates solve that problem, but obviously they still have some other issues with the application. So after the disconnect, I'd restarted our application, and the application's been running about 24 hours now. So again, the disconnect doesn't seem to be a problem with the battery pack. Again, with this thing having these AAAs in there, I'm expecting this is going to run for quite some time. And with the two being very close to one another, I doubt that there was any kind of a signal drop. And I really don't have a lot of other devices in the lab that are on this frequency, so I doubt it's any kind of an interference problem that's causing it. I really think that that drop has something to do with the longer the phone running, it's just slowing down and it just can't keep up, and there's some kind of a timeout. But that's really a question for Brymen. Well, I think that's going to be all for this video. Until the next time, we'll see you then. Later.